Whew, okay. When Pluto's up in the 11th house, it's having friends and enemies, peer pressure. I have to live up to the kids. I can't wear anything but the designer thing that everyone's there, or on that, or blocks. I don't fit in anywhere. Nobody wants me to be there. I have to be there. How come I'm being picked on? How come it's being hazed? Where am I fitting in? How come I'm always the worst person on the baseball team? Or I'm always like this. There's going to be bullies and gangs that you're going to run into with Pluto in the 11th house. And peer pressures and power struggles around who's in and who's out. So the fear of having friends can make someone fairly lonely, or having to control friends, be only with friends that you can control, can also be very isolating and lonely, even though you're around people all the time. How to find good, real, honest friendships. Having a noble cause or something to work at. Wow. If a war comes up, a battle comes up, or kids are being shot in school and you want to get involved in the fight to fight against it, that's valid. So sometimes where Pluto is, it shows you have to fight something here. And by fighting it, you sometimes get it out of yourself. But when it's a fear, it blocks and paralyzes you. So you have to observe where in that process they are between fear and control, and how much which way. Many people get married and I can't have any friends. I can only be with my husband. And, oh boy, like how did many people are supposed to make sure their friends like their husband or their wife before they get married. And how much money of a relationship goes towards my friends or your friends? Is it equal? Or do I expect more money to go to my friends than to your friends? Or it's more important that my boss is coming and home, we got to make a dinner and talk to him, or than your boss. These are power struggles around friendships, around sharing. I was putting it from a view of a relationship, but really, team pressure, group pressure, there's going to be some kind of confrontational issue, some fear, some block, some running into the bully, running into the gang, you're not fitting in, running into the sorority or whatever. And there'll be struggles like this, and it'll be there at every age in your life in some form or other. It's not going to be the most crucial age, just sitting there, but it's how it affects how you make your decisions about other things. You're going to tend to avoid that when really you have to take care of that. Okay, so if you have a fear, you have to face it. It helps to have love in your heart to face a fear. If you're out of touch with your own heart and your ability to radiate love, fears become much more insidious. So we jump around our chart all the time. We live in one planet to another. We jump around across a day, across a week. Boy, it's hard to just be all of your charts, to be the whole thing all at once. That would be really enlightenment. So when you have Pluto in the 8th house, the energy of togetherness, or the energy of sharing, the energy of just the trust. No business without trust. I do this for you, you do that for me. But if there's a Pluto there's going to be fears about trusting. This could be you were born and your parents didn't want you and there was a custody battle or something like that, or parents split up. Or it could be if you have Pluto there and your parents are dying, you might align up. So someone in your family may be trying to take the money and suck up to the parents to get all the money and cut you out. And you might have to face it and fight it, even though you won't have to fight a brother or sister because they're trying to rip off your mom. And power struggles comes about trust and money and sharing. Wow. That can make someone really psychologically brilliant around how to work a team or work a business and follow a system, make money and do it. But it's not going to make them, they're going to be still over-controlled in that. So you can control and do everything for your kids and make sure they have everything, they go to the right school. But if you over-control them and they stop their relationships or something, they still may never want to trust you or like you when you're older. So how much money goes to kids, to schools? What do we have to do? You can do everything and there's a block. You can do nothing and there's a block. It can come either way, but it's in that area. So that's the sensation interaction about what we can do, what everybody else has, what do we have to, how do we live up to this? Like that. Whew. Someone with the Pluto in the 5th house, which is about feelings. There's a fear that you feel you're not good enough. I'm blocked. I've taken in these bad feelings, taken in these energy. I'm not good enough. I can't play. I can't do this. If you don't like me, how can I? Hey, mom, look at me. Watch me dance. Mom's not watching. How can you dance? Go away. Don't bother me. Like, whoa. You can go out in the wood, out in the backyard, or in the field, and pick up. It's Mother's Day. You go out in the woods, and you go pick some beautiful flowers. You bring them home for your mom. And you walk into the house with your muddy shoes, and the mud goes all over the floor. And you give your mom, "Here's your flowers." And we say, "Get out of here with your muddy feet." Simple little thing can be a huge complex for some kids. So your feelings, the fear of not being liked, the fear of being confronted, the fear of being put down, that's like in the 5th house. So this comes into sex, into a relationship, who's in control, who's not, and how do you take it? Do you let someone control you, or do you control it? Like, it's really insecure in one's own performance. I'm not good enough. You better do better. Okay, I'll try. Like so kids can be afraid of playing because they're not encouraged. If they're afraid of playing, they may not play, they may get out of shape, and they'd be the weak person on the team, so why go? But or nobody likes me because I'm fat. It's a block of conflict. Like, you're not getting good feedback, and it's coming in. It's in the area where it's affecting your performance. It's hard to be smiling and happy and playful to someone to make them feel better if they're not liking you. Right? So that's true. It's hard to make love to someone that's uptight and thinking about other things and couldn't care less about it. That's abusive or whatever. Or is too detached, or someone that's too lustful in there and you're not. Like, there could be all kinds of blocks that come in this 5th house area of performance, or even challenges of over control around kids or fear of kids. So you have an area that's a large area of meaning, and the Pluto's there, it's putting a focus in that area. This is all based on knowing your time of birth. If you don't know someone's time of birth, you don't have that. You work with the planets and the signs, a lot of information. But as soon as you get close to a time, you can begin to see. Then if you know within an hour, you could be in one house or another, or 1 or 2 hours, then you're trying to say, is it more of this or more of that? It still takes some therapy and working with a person, some time working with a person to come to terms with what exactly their Pluto struggles are. But in seeing this, you have the advantage of seeing some ideas that, oh, if you have a challenge here, maybe you could try this, or maybe, like if it's in the performances, maybe you try and perform on something. Like, I knew one lady, very big lady, and so probably pushing 300 pounds, and under 5'6", let's say, and she had fears about relationship blocks, and she was going through some therapy to try and get her confidence up, and she was playing. And one of the processes she had to do was stand on a stage with 10 people below holding their hands and fall and let them catch her. It was frightening for the people having to catch her too, but at the same time, she had to trust doing that. Then she had to walk on a rope, even holding 2 other ropes. She had to walk on a rope 6 feet across and trust doing that. So she was totally terrified, but she did it. Once she had done it, she just glowed with such confidence. And after that, relationships were not a problem for her. She had lots of people wanting to relate to her, but her confidence has changed. She faced the fear. Okay. I mean, if I had each of your charts and I was looking at it, I could pick on each of you and prove this and show it, but you have to do this for yourself. Like, we'll get to work on some of your charts when we get to the 5th level. After the aspects and we start putting a chart together, we'll start working at interpreting the whole chart and putting this together to see how these complexes and multiple challenges come up. It's like we're this gem, multifaceted gem, but only one facet is cleared. So you see, oh, there's a gem underneath there, but all the rest is covered with duck, stones, other things. And they have to be chipped away before we can be the whole gem polished. How well have we polished our life? Or how some of us just go with 1 or 2 lenses. That's enough. Some of us have all the lenses. Don't cover up my lenses. So anyways, this is life. When you have sorry here, slipped along. When we get to the worlds of relationships, no, I'm in the wrong one. 1 second. We got to get to the well, no, one up. So this slipped.